I think glow Pikmin are a love letter to Luigi's Mansion and perhaps multiple ghost elements from the Mario series. Because first off, both games made their debut on the GameCube, but in the original Luigi's Mansion, you could actually watch a demo for the first Pikmin game by going to the options menu and selecting Pikmin Movie. Now, with that being said, in addition, we all know that Pikmin basically got its roots from a tech demo called Mario 128, in which it features a bunch of Marios running around in a test area. But also, when you consider Pikmin as a series, it has a lot of things in common with the Mario series, because we all know that Olimar and Louie and kind of the President are homages to Mario characters. Olimar is Mario, Louie is Luigi, and I've often thought that the President is some weird homage to Wario, seeing as how they're both money obsessed and technically become treasure hunters if you're considering Pikmin 2. But let's flash forward to 2023 in July, because that is when Pikmin 4 was released. And in Pikmin 4, we are introduced to two new types of Pikmin, the Ice Pikmin and the Glow Pikmin. The Ice Pikmin being a cyan or light blue Pikmin, while the Glow Pikmin are our first green Pikmin in the series. Now, here is where we have our first similarity, because Glow Pikmin are green and Luigi's main color since his debut has always been green. Glow Pikmin have blue eyes, and Luigi has often been depicted with blue eyes like his brother Mario. But the flower is actually not really a reference. The flower is just the color of the game, Pikmin 4, and the unifying color of the new Pikmin to this game, as Ice Pikmin 2 have a yellow flower. We see this in previous titles in which the Pikmin of that title reflect the title number and share a flower color. Purple and white Pikmin have pink flowers for Pikmin 2. After them, we have rock and flying Pikmin having a violet flower for Pikmin 3. And of course, we have the original three boys for Pikmin 1, all sporting white flowers. So that's the whole theme there. But going back to Glow Pikmin, they are a stand-in for the Boldmen that we find in Pikmin 2, and they act in very similar ways because they are invincible to most hazards, especially the elemental ones, but they can still be stabbed or crushed or eaten. But they can only be used during night expeditions or in caves. This makes them very similar to the ghosts of Luigi's Mansion, because often Luigi's Mansion games only take place at night, and you can only find the ghosts in interior locations most of the time. So Glow Pikmin are very similar in that way. But in talking about interior locations, if you know anything about the Pikmin series, most Pikmin live in an onion. The onion has changed over the years, but the funny thing about Glow Pikmin very specifically is that they don't live in an onion. They live in something called a luminol. Now, luminols are these weird multi-tier anthill or termite mound-like structures that have these little windows. And in the way that they look with the multiple windows and the multiple tiers, they resemble that of a building or a mansion in this case, but like a mansion in a weird insectoid-like sense, because of course that is the theme of Pikmin. So in a way, yeah, these weird ghosts live in a mansion. But taking things to the main ghost of the Mario series, the Boos, they have a very interesting ability that they show off in the Mario games as well as in Luigi's Mansion, specifically Luigi's Mansion 1 and in Luigi's Mansion 3, because a bunch of them can come together to form an entity called Boolossus, which is a gigantic Boo. But in Pikmin 4, the Glow Pikmin mimic this ability in a way, because a bunch of them can come together to form something called a Glow Mob, which is this giant spirit bomb of ectoplasmic energy that can stun enemies when it collides with an enemy, which I find very cool. And I do think this is an homage to Boolossus, a bunch of smaller entities coming together to form one big entity. Now, with that being said, too, what's also quite interesting about glow Pikmin is that after a night expedition, their mansion, the Luminal, spits out this glow sap. Said glow sap can be used to cure castaways of their leafling affliction. So, in a way, you can say instead of possessing objects like some ghosts in the Luigi's Mansion series do, they cure a possession in a way with their essence by removing an affliction from the affected party. So I find that pretty cool. Not sure if I would consider that a similarity, but it's pretty close. However, with all that being said, stay rosy.